Evening,
Good
everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Good evening to everyone.
Very good evening, sir.
So,
Good evening, sir.
good evening. How is the learnings?
All good, sir.
Worthwhile.
Putting in practice?
All good, sir.
Putting in practice?
I'm great, sir.
Yes, sir. It's got a lot of questions, but we are learning a lot. 90% you have already resolved it.
Chalo. Because
It's
somebody
worthwhile to take this course, sir. It's very much worthwhile.
see, somebody's questions also can answer your clarification.
That's the reason you don't need to answer all the. We don't need to question every point over there because most of them are the via media. The questions are already coming up, sir. So there's one more request, sir. If it is a possibility, yesterday, like servers over there was a lot of valuable information in that. Whatever he was talking about.
No, that there was some technical issue. I'm going to. I've asked my team to share the last class video. Content is going to remain same. Your voices will not be there. We'll be sharing. People have shared the video. You're cutting about the small resolution, na? Hello?
Yes, sir. The PPT was not in a readable format.
Yeah. We have already shared. I think our team has already shared the last week video.
We'll share, sir. We'll share in the group again and mail everyone.
Yeah, we'll send you. Don't worry. So let us take only 5 minutes before we jump into the class.
Sir, what is the PPT you were talking about?
Not PPT, don't worry, don't big confusion. Yesterday's FIU video. Again, don't put the confusion of video and PPT. How long study material is going to be helpful? As long as G drive lives. As long as G drive is public. As long as your YouTube is there, our videos are live. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I have a question regarding your regarding status class. सर सर ने अगले क्लास में सर एलसी के बारे में बताया था बट एलसी एट साइट को थोड़ा इलाबोरेट कर देते तो इन शॉर्ट
एलसी के बारे में आज भी बात करने वाला है हम लोग
ओके ओके
वी आर गोइंग टू शो यू द रियल
Sir, I have a question, sir.
या अभी क्वेश्चंस बाद में लेता हूं बिकॉज़ वी हैव वन स्पेशल गेस्ट आल्सो टुडे फॉर यू आई इनवाइटेड वन ऑफ द past participant who has taken a very bold step in coming into this business. So questions, if anything, I'll answer you. You have to stay back. Even till 12 o'clock, I'm ready to answer your all questions. Don't worry. So let us utilize the time of the resources which they are waiting for us. Okay. Will you allow me to go ahead?
Yes, sir. Hoping for a good session, sir.
Yes,
sir. Please. We are waiting for the session.
Hello. Say, many participants attend the programs and few successful people, I see them, those who are having a burning desire. See, getting a training is a separate and everybody get that, but your success lies on implementation part. Whatever the content we shared, that is your job to implement it. And today we have one of the special guests and our participant. I'm adding to my screen. Mr. Vikramjit, are you able to see him? Welcome, Mr. Vikramjit. Your mic is on mute.
Yes, I am here.
You are able to see, na? 1 minute. Let me show something about our. Yeah. So before before I introduce him, I would like to introduce Mr. Vikramji. Is a 226th batch participant. Are you able to see my screen? Anything? I'm sharing a screen. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here he has sent a message just from our conversation. I'm sharing without the permission of Mr. Jeet, Mr. Bikram. He has put me the message. He is a very desired person. He wanted to jump into this. After a few days of the training, along with the certificate, he said, "Sir, he has been discussing with me. Sir, I left my job, resigned today after discussing with HR director and my MD of my USA MNC company. Is in a very good position. We will listen to him." And he has taken a bold step of jumping into the business by resigning the job. And one more thing, he has shared the vision. See how meticulously he has planned his vision. He has started a company of Mula International. What is the goals? This is very, very important. What product he wanted to start? He has made a very deep study on what kind of plants, what they are making, machineries, what kind of machineries, products, what kind of products he wanted to deal, what are the raw materials, then what should be the action plan, what is the registration process with respect to export promotion councils, engineering, all kind of missions, where to register, EPC, pharmaceutical, and plastic, project exports, service exports. This was his vision, and he keep on updating me all the steps which he was been taking. And finally, he has succeeded. He has done many trials. That is important. Don't think that one trial, first trial, will going to give the result. That is going to be our trial. That teach you many, many lessons for you. And here, finally, he did one import of oxygen concentrators. This has given him a very good confidence. Yes, I can do my import. Now he's in the process of going for export. So this is a brief about Mr. Vikramji. So I'll give a chance to Mr. Vikram to talk about what was he. I will ask you to give brief about your background and what inspired you to come into this. What was your initial steps? So let us listen from Mr. Vikramji. Welcome, Mr. Vikram. Glad to see you on the screen again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Can I start now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, hello, everybody. Myself, Vikram Jeet, and I'm very happy to see all the team here who are trying to build a really good team in the business of export and import. And taking learnings from Dr. Koteshwar Rao is really very helpful for all of us. Prior to this, I just want to add that my career is in engineering design, basically. I have spent more than 22 years in design field. So in design, you say any kind of product from plastic, die casting products, machinery design, structural fabrication. I have spent a lot of time in designing many of these parts. So from the needle to the biggest plant, I can design, and I have my team available in my past company, around 26 engineers who are supporting to all global entities in USA, Europe, China, Brazil, Australia. So all the teamwork was going on through WebEx and data sharing through internet, all the facilities that we have like WebEx and Team Center database tools. So that is really very proprietary information. I cannot share the name of the company. You can find out later on. But the thing is, what I want to share is any industry who is into manufacturing, they are going through a lot of struggle in manufacturing the products, quality verification, and then shipping of the goods. So I understand the pain and the operations, how these products are manufactured. Now, if that is the case of, let's say, 22 years, I have seen and made product from my own hand and designed this product. I know where the challenge is. The final challenge is in selling. How the best product that you can make and how you are going to export it or sell it inside in India is a really good challenge. And what are the processes? I was not knowing that much. I was not into the sales, but I was very curious to learn. And when I saw an advertisement by Dr. Koteshwar in my, I think, Facebook, so I immediately jumped on it, gone through those 2-3 hours of session in the first one, and then I joined the regular course immediately after the closing. So since then, I have been doing many things that I learned in the course, and I have been very good in actually in design line. What you do is you have to prepare all the documents very well. So unless you have all the documents in place and a structural way that Dr. Koteshwar Rao has shown us in their presentation, and database structure in Google Drive also is available in very structured way. So that database is very helpful. Take care of it from day one, day 2, day 3. There is very good planning, and with that help, I went on to register my company. Within 2 days, I got GST registration. Within next week, I got IEC certification done, and after that, I went on doing all this export import activities, thinking about where should my product should be, what product selection should I do, and then similarly, um, this COVID happened. Means I actually resigned from my company on second third day of learning of this. I made up my mind. Okay, I want to now leave the company and focus fully on my own business in export and import. And at that moment, I was not having any idea of what should I do. Means should I start export or should I do the import first? So I reached out to many companies in India, and I signed some of the deals with them. Okay, if you have any product, we can sell it, we can export it outside of India. And I got very good response from directors of companies. Many directors supported me. Okay, Bikram, we have motorcycles. If you have deals, we can sell it. If you have, we have gearboxes. If you want, we can give you the price list and everything. You can sell it out. And many other friends who are having different commodities, they also approached. Okay, can we start the business together? I got some websites links from the database, and then I searched on that. I try to make listing in my company on those websites with the data. I was trying to foresee that this product will be very good in export business. Step by step, I am receiving many good quotations and good response from overseas suppliers as well as importers. So I have been in oxygen concentration business now. I have imported around couple of machines in India, and I am getting good deals of export for these machines also in India. Also I'm selling. I am also into a syringe business. Syringes, I have received around 10 manufacturers who are ready to give material at a fraction's notice. So millions of syringes available from Turkey, Europe, USA, everywhere. And gloves, hand gloves in medical. Why I'm saying this is I thought that because COVID is happening, why should not we start doing those things that are really required in India and abroad? Even if we are requiring in India at a very cheapest price, we can get it. Or if from one country to another country we can do the export. So this is how it has happened, and I really thank Dr. Koteshwar Rao to enlighten ourselves and to open our eyes to the global business. And I really appreciate everyone here to come and join hands, help each other. If someone is learning, you just give them some good helping words on your WhatsApp group that a group is already made. So I keep on sharing my knowledge. Whatever anyone asks me particular some questions about website creation or reaching out to products or export related activities, how I did it, I immediately try my best to help them. So that's a brief little bit about me, and I'm very happy to see you all. And if you have still any questions, you can reach out to me. You can share my mobile number also. Thank you, Dr. Sir.
Very good motivator to the whole team. Whatever question comes, he first answers. He guide the people. He give the directions. He correct the people sometimes. No, that is not the thing that you have to go like this. So that way, he is giving a very good guidance, because he is also one of the senior member of the group, I believe. And their group was very active. Even one more colleague, he started with same similar product from Bangalore. So they are doing excellent job. Everybody, only thing is you should have a burning desire for the important. Not that simply I have done the course, or if anybody contact me, I will do. No, you have to do your efforts. For any kind of efforts, any help, Global Exim is with you. Anytime you can. How the support you received from our team?
Excellent support. Whenever I was having any questions or doubts when preparing these bank related documents, and sometime in LC preparation when I'm trying to import goods, I was not having idea what should I write in that. I immediately reached out to Dr. Sir and asked him, okay, there are some things need to be particular about Swift code and banking related things. Immediately answered, and then some documents are related when I was doing some export council registration, EPC, RCMC. Then also I got immediately this reply. So very, very helpful, and really you should watch all the videos again and again, 2-3 times before thinking about, okay, whether these questions are already answered in that video or not. If these are not there, then only you should reach out to sir or the team, because the videos are already very, very good. Means very, very stepped and structured way information is provided. Very good information.
Thank you, Vikramji, for sparing your valuable time and insight to our participants. And wishing you very, very good luck. And wish you many, many programs, many, many big shipments.
Thank you.
And I would like to invite you again and again for sharing your message. Thank you.
I will be definitely be there everywhere.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Friends, now we have listened our friend Mr. Vikram Jeet. इनका नाम में ही जीत है. Good luck. Okay, friends, I also wish to call one of you to our to address our participants. So I request everyone to go through the study material as well as the videos again and again. Many people give the similar feedback. Sir, your videos, whenever I get a doubt, I switch on the video and listen. And at the end, I ask what are the question answers. That is giving more clarity than your PPTs. Because people may be thinking, I am not getting a chance, I am not able to ask my question. But your question has been answered for someone. So those kind of things, even if you forget, videos are with you. And anytime you can open the video, get those clarifications, or we are anyway with you. We are also going to share other details. Our team member will be allotted to you. He will be taking care of you. If anything directly where my involvement is required, I'll be coming directly to you. I will answer your, because our motto is your success is our success. So we happily say that yes, our people are doing well. Okay. So thank you, Vikramji. So we'll proceed into the program. Thank you, Jay. Okay, friends, now let us come to the subject, because I cannot put for question answers because it will take a lot of time. If anything, you can also get in touch with Mr. Vikram. We can share the number. Now, till yesterday, what we have done is various, yesterday we discussed about the FIEO and also payment terms. During the payment, as somebody was pointing out the LC, even at the beginning of the payment terms, sir was discussing about various documents. Yes, what are the documents required? Because all your dealings will be done through the documents only. Paper, your goods will be traveling, but only your paper is only getting your money to your account. So this place, very documentation plays very, very important. Many people are afraid about the documentation. When you look at the compare with the local business and export, many people are afraid. No, there are many big documentation process, and people are afraid. Not to worry. Those papers are only getting the money. So little bit, if you have the knowledge, you can do that. But you are lucky nowadays, all the papers has become online and simplified processes. So what are the documents? What is the importance? Who is going to issue? Why it is required? To talk about, we have invited one of our close friend, and he is also the exim consultant, and over and above is a alumni of IIFT, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. So after working for several years with big companies, where is Mr. Pardasarthi garu? Okay, just pinning it. Yeah, you can see Mr. Pardasarthi is joining for this program to talk about documentation. Just to give a brief about Mr. Pardasarthi, he was a alumni of IIFT. He did his postgraduate diploma in foreign trade. Then he worked for various MNCs in various sectors. and he started his own company of consultancy, and he has been working for various clients, especially on all the exim matters, every sector. Plus, he is also now exporter importer. He's running his own consultancy. He's also running his own, and he's dealing with mainly wood. He's importing wood. If anybody interested in wood, also you can contact sir. And also he's giving all kind of services wherever DGFT services are required, right from IEC2 till the getting a special license. And what are those special licenses? Sir also will talk about. So with this brief introduction, our intention is to bring the resources from the practical field, so that you will also understand from the horse's mouth, who is dealing all these aspects on a daily basis. So with this brief introduction, I would like to hand over the session to Sri Parthasarathi. Yesterday also we had one more Parthasarathi, but spellings are different. Same Parthasarathi for the namesake, but his name is Partha, and his name is Prdha, Partha. Okay, so we have two Parthasarathis with us. So now over to you, sir. You are on mute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And good evening, all. I think after the interaction with Mr. Vikramjit, everyone got more excited, definitely, I can say. And how many of you see yourself in next couple of months like the way Vikramjit is doing? Guys, this is a lot of hard work is there initially. You don't, because you are in safe hands of a global exim. So definitely, only thing is the path has been laid. You have to walk through the path. That is so simple. Unlike earlier.
Sorry, please unmute, sir. Please unmute. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. See, so I was mentioning that everyone got excited with Vikramjit's presentation and all. So to say, imagine yourself like the way he is doing, you are in safe hands like global exim, where the path has been laid and you need to walk through that path. That is the only thing that you need to do. You need to put in little efforts to walk through the path. That is it. Documentation, procedures, statutory compliance, part of it, right? Even if you start from your place to your workplace or to any journey, you need to comply various statutory things. If you plan to travel by train, or if you plan to travel by air, you need to have a ticket. You need to pass through the security details, security check. And these days, even in the COVID pandemic situation, you are also need to produce your fitness certificates and all, right? Just you moving from one point to other point. Imagine the goods are traveling in your absence. When goods are traveling in your absence, goods have to speak for themselves. They cannot speak. So what you need to do, you prepare documents in such a manner that the document speaks for yourselves. Usually I share this example. Many times, probably you would have gone for a picnic, holiday, long 2 weeks, 1 week break with your family and friends. If it is within India, your preparation would be different. And suppose if you plan to travel outside India to any of the picnic tourist centers, like any country for that matter, how many days preparation you would be putting in? Probably a month. You need to check your passports, your visas, and then the accommodation, where you stay, what are the places that you want to visit. Everything you plan I's and T's, because you know that you are traveling with your family and friends, so that the trip should not get spoiled by unexpected situations. In spite of the fact that you are there physically present, if something goes wrong, to attend, right? If any situation arises, you are there physically to attend and take care of the situation. But imagine when your goods are traveling from your warehouse to your buyer's warehouse, the documentation that you send along with the goods is only speaks for the consignment that you are sending. So you need little more preparation, you need little more attention in preparing those documents because they also serve the purpose of getting you the payments, right? So in these situations, you need to understand what the documentation is all about, why what is the importance of documentation? First and foremost, for you to get the payment, right? You raise your invoice and you need to get your payment. Next, it also complies various statutory procedures. Your invoice, based on your invoice, you would be when you submit that to customs, customs will clear looking at the invoice. Your clearing agent prepare the shipping bill. So shipping bill is a customs document. That's a government document. So basing on that, your consignment passes to the next stage, boarding onto the vessel. Okay. So your invoice also serves to comply with the statutory requirement. Once the consignment reaches, your buyer collects the material and makes the payment to you. And after you getting the payment, you also submit to the department for getting your export incentives. So it also serves for you to get your payment. It also serves to get the documentation passed through the customs and also your uh, what you call export incentives, getting your export incentives. I think 1 second. Yeah. Is my screen sharing? I'll share the screen once again.
Yes, sir.
Export documentation. Yeah, thank you. See, there are many participants. Definitely, there will be someone from the textiles. So if you supply a garment with numbering like this 13 and mentioning like this, will they agree? Will your customer agree for this? And these are all various silly mistakes that we do see. And finally, the final one. Are you sure you want to exist? You want to exit or you want to exist? See, these are all simple things which misses our eye. We read it as, are you sure you want to exit? Yes, we say exit. But why I'm mentioning these things are just to make you familiarize with the mistakes that we tend to do in our day-to-day activities. Okay. So as an exporter, if we come to our export-import activity as an exporter, we deal with various agencies. Like as such, when you are doing local business, you are already dealing with certain agencies, your GST authorities, then if you are a manufacturer, then factories inspector, the local sales tax authorities, or the local pollution control board authorities and all that, right? As an exporter, you are dealing with various authorities. All this, they interact, help you out in clearing your consignments, and they also help you in getting your payments, and you establish yourself in your international business. They are all facilitators. You don't worry about that. Do I have to interact with so many agencies? They are facilitators for you in your export import activity. Banks, they help you out in getting your payments. Customs, they help you out in clearing your consignment. Concur is a container corporation. They arrange you the containers, right? DGFT is the authority which helps you out in getting your import export license, something like your passport, without which you cannot start your exports and imports. Export promotion councils, as the name suggests, and during the discussion, I understood that yesterday there was a FIUO session. FIUO, Federation of Indian Export Organization, it's one of export promotion council. It's a multi-product export promotion council. So you can understand like this, there are so many agencies who help you out. Only thing you need to understand who is helping for what purpose. What is his role in the activity, export import activity, and to what extent he would be helping us. Okay. Once we understand the entire documentation, probably by end of our presentation, you would be in a position to understand all these agencies which we are talking about now. These days, everyone is talking about ease of doing business. So just to make you familiarize with that, India is also playing an important role in improving its ranking in the international market. Earlier, we were ranking somewhere around 130, and now the ranking got drastically improved. Now we are in 63rd position. There are still lot of way to cover, but not to worry. Maybe another 2-3 years down the line, things are going to be much more easier, as maybe you can call it due to COVID or whatever be the reason. Things are, everything is coming online, and things are changing for much faster than what we expected, and things are changing like anything. So sitting in your office, you can prepare all the documentations, and you need to submit these documents sorry, you need to submit these documents online, so that the respective agencies they issue those whatever the documents that you submitted for, whether it's a shipping bill or a certificate of origin, whatever. We'll see what all those documents are. So you'll be getting those documents back without you moving out of your office. Okay. Trading across the borders. Let us see what is it. Purpose of documentation and cost involved. See, time to export and time, cost, and documents required to import. Time, cost, and documents required for export. If you see this, on an average, it is around 230 plus 50, around 280 hours of what is required. If you consider uh, the moment the container leaves from your place till it reaches, it boarded onto the vessel. Till the time it takes about 280 days, 280 hours. So roughly around 10 days, depending upon the place where you are. Okay, so that you would be receiving your bill of lading. Cost of documentary compliance, it's around $50 from Mumbai. That is what we are talking about. Time to import, it is around $60. More or less, it is the same. What you required for export and what you required for import, more or less the same documents would be required. Only thing, when you are exporting, you prepare those documents, invoice, packing list, and the rest of the documents. Only you prepare as an exporter, you prepare only invoice and packing list, and the rest of the documents, the other agencies will prepare. Your customs broker will prepare your shipping bill, and the liner, whoever is arranging the transportation, the carrier, he arranges you the bill of lading, and the insurance guy arranges the insurance. So all this comes out of your invoice and packing list. So Only thing that you need to take care of is preparing your invoice and packing list. Once you prepare your invoice and packing list, the rest of the documents follows through. And you need to understand world over, the total world over merchandise is around $17 trillion. And India's contribution to the world merchandise is around 2%, that is around 350, $360 billion. The volume of this business is being carried out through the customs. So do you expect customs to verify all these containers opening, closing? Not humanly possible. So on an average, they inspect around 4 to 8% of the containers that they come to the customs for passing. So you need to understand much more here the importance of accurate documentation. See, earlier was when things used to be manual, when things were not online, there used to be a lot of mistakes. Even within the family, the name in one place used to be mentioned as your surname comes first and your name comes last. And there are places where your name comes first and your family name comes the next. So all these confusions and all these difficulties have been taken away by the online transformation. As things are becoming online, things are initially you may find it difficult, but once you start complying with that, life will be very easy. So what I mean to say is you need to prepare your invoice and package correctly. So basing on that, the rest of the documents follows through. I said the documentation, the engine that moves your consignment through the borders. Documentation facilitates the moment of right, transfer of title, insurance, processing of payment, and customs clearance. And another thing you need to understand is when you are exporting food items to say US, the food items when you are exporting to US attract a different set of conditions you need to comply. And if you are exporting to African market, it attracts a different set of guidelines. So you need to understand which market you are targeting and what type of documentation you need and what needs to be done. Same is the case any product, whether it's a pharmaceutical, food, or anything. So you need to understand that, and your buyer looks at you once your documentation is perfect. He feels that yes, I am dealing with a good supplier. Okay. Whereas if your documentation is not proper, and because of your improper documentation, if your buyer is suffering because of any reason, so that time his perception about you would be totally different. He feels, yeah, I should not able to deal with this type of supplier next time because of improper documentation, your supplier, your buyer is suffering. So once your buyer suffers, again he will not come back quickly to you to entertain you again, unless until you could able to convince him what is the cause why such and such thing happened, and next time you can take care of the situation. So all these things you need to understand. So first let us understand what export documentation is, what are the documents that you need to prepare, so that we understand how to proceed further. This already we covered, transportation of goods, customs clearance, and other purposes. Now coming to exports. See, uh, someone was talking about letter of credit transaction and all. We will we will be spending some time on the letter of credit transaction also. First, let us understand what is a packing list, what is invoice. Before that, I want to show you another document called pro forma invoice. Anytime if the screen is not sharing, please inform me. First, let us see what is a pro forma invoice. From pro forma,
Screen is
not sharing? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, if you understand what pro forma invoice and what are the headings, then from pro forma invoice, you would be preparing your commercial invoice and the packing list. These days, you don't have to prepare a separate packing list if you could able to incorporate the details of packing list in your invoice. You can say it's an invoice come packing list. We'll see that. Okay. Pro forma invoice exporter. Who is the exporter? You are the exporter. So you would be mentioning your details, your company details, and this is your own pro forma. Pro forma invoice. What is the pro forma invoice, by the way? It is your proposal to your buyer on the terms and conditions that you can supply at what rate. It also serves you to get your advance payment. And the moment he signs and sends it back to you, it will act as a contract. Okay. So it is that much important. So even if you want to get your advance payment also, you need to raise your pro forma invoice. So you would be mentioning your details as an exporter, your pro forma invoice, your serial number. Exporter reference is your IEC number. Okay, so at this juncture, you don't have any buyer order number, or you can mention if you have any reference number from your buyer, you can mention that here. Consignee, where the goods are consigned, you would be mentioning the details here. Buyer other than consignee, this column you need to fill when the goods are destined to another country, where as you are receiving payment from another country. Something like your buyer is in Singapore, so you are receiving your payment from Singapore, and he instructed you to send your consignment to, say, Germany or to Africa or to Latin America, whichever country it is. So in this transaction, your buyer is sitting in Singapore and he is making the payment, and he is instructing where to send the consignment. So in that, at that point, your consignee would be the country where he's asking, say, Africa. So you'll be mentioning the details of African consignee. This information your buyer will share with you, and you'll be mentioning the buyer details who is sitting in Singapore. That comes where the heading is there, buyer other than consignee. Okay, so that is the difference you need to understand. Then country of origin of goods. You are sending it from India, so your origin of goods is India. Then country of final destination, where the consignment is destined to, which country that is going. Terms of delivery, your Incoterms, and terms of payment, your payment terms. Incoterms, whether it's a CAF, FOB, whatever that you have agreed for. And payment, is it advance and letter of credit, or advance and the balance against BL, whatever the payment term that you have agreed with your buyer, you would be mentioning that here. So shipment terms, terms of delivery is your Incoterms, and your payment terms, whether it's LC or whatever the term. Okay. Then pre-carriage, pre-carrier, or place of receipt, it is all before shipment. Pre-carriage is before shipment, how you are moving your consignment from your warehouse to the nearest port or nearest customs place. It could be an ICD or it could be a port. Vessel, this information comes only after your shipment. So there are certain places where certain areas in the pro forma invoice you did not fill at the time of submitting your pro forma invoice. Port of loading, which port is nearest to you, you can mention that. Final destination, port of discharge. Any difficulty? Are you finding any difficulty in this? We will discuss. If you find any difficulty, we can discuss that later. Marks and numbers, container number. This information you can ask your buyer what marks need to be mentioned on the packages that you are packing and sending it to him. You would be mentioning the number of number and kind of packages. Suppose you are sending 1,000 cartons, you would be mentioning that as one of 1,000 to 1,000 of 1,000. description of goods. With HS code, you'd be mentioning the product description, quantity, how much quantity you are planning, rate per piece or rate per kg, amount in USD, total amount. And variation in quantity and value, you can terms and conditions, any other terms and conditions you want to put, you can mention that in your pro forma invoice. You can mention your bank details. Variation plus or minus 10%. This is their standard. It is acceptable in whatever mode of payment. You can say plus or minus 10% because that is acceptable. As an exporter, you do not know how many cartons you can place it in a container. So there is always plus or minus 10%, but over a period of time with experience, you can able to say precisely how many cartons you can load into a container. With a simple calculation, you need to take the CBM of a container and your package. So basing on that, you can calculate. Okay, so this is what a pro forma invoice is all about. Once you prepare and send your pro forma invoice, either your buyer will open an LC or he sends a advance payment if your payment terms are other than letter of credit. Okay, so now let us see a invoice so that you can see the difference between an invoice and packing list, invoice and a pro forma invoice. See, okay. Invoice, again, it comes with the same details, exporter details, invoice number, exporter reference, that is his IEC number. This is the LC shipment. So he mentioned the LC number, where he's sending it to. He's sending it to Bangladesh. So like information remains same. So only thing, once you understand how to prepare your invoice, once you know how to prepare your pro forma invoice, you can easily prepare your commercial invoice. Okay. So in packing list, you will not mention the values, only packing list. So this is the packing list. In the difference between invoice and packing list is, in invoice you will have the value, and in packing list you will not have the value. It contains net weight and gross weight. Do you find any difficulty in this? So simple. The way you are preparing your GST invoice, there are certain things you need to understand when you are sending a consignment and sending an invoice internationally, because your GST terms and your GST taxes and all that, your international buyer will not understand. He understand what is their international standard practice, and these invoice formats and all, these are all aligned internationally. So what information that you need to put into the invoice and packing list, and how the invoice should look like. If you see universally, all the invoices and packing list, they look more or less same. So this is what it is. Now go back to the presentation. You screen is sharing, right?
Yes, sir.
You as an exporter, you would be preparing your packing list and commercial invoice. So your clearing agent, he prepares the bill of lading for you. I mean, this shipping bill for you. We'll see how a shipping bill look like if the time permits, and the bill of lading, insurance, terminal handling receipt, and technical standard certificate. These are all the things that you would be paying. So technical certificate is your product certificate, and terminal handling receipt is the payment that you make to the carrier. Okay, so the purpose of documentation is commercial, legal, and incentives, which we have already understood, and try to understand. Never ever try to get motivated by the people. There are certain unscrupulous elements in the market who try to misguide you, saying that you will get duty benefits in the exports if you raise your invoice value, or you can get you can pay less duty and taxes if you minimize your invoice while importing and all that. See, unlike earlier situations, now even the government and the government departments, they are online and they have access to the information more than the access you as an individual you have. Okay, so sitting in say Tuticorin port down south, they can say what at what value they have cleared at Calcutta port and at what value they have cleared at say Mundra port. So they have access pan India. The customs officer has got an access to pan India, and they can say at what rate your consignment has been cleared at different ports. So they will not entertain your pricing unless until it is the actual pricing and it is at par with the market value. If you bring in any consignment less than the market value, government, the customs will not agree to it. They say we will not agree with the pricing and they will assess as per the value that they deem fit. And they impose duties and taxes as per their valuation. So please don't get into those type of situations. Exports, we've discussed what all the documents that you need. Imports also, the more or less the same documents: bill of entry, commercial invoice, packing list, and bill of lading. Okay. Now, we will try to understand, because you are interested in understanding the letter of credit transaction. Letter of credit transaction is that wherein you, exporter, your buyer, and your bank and your buyer's bank, all four people are part and part of this. You need to interact with your, this is not the case, I think. Let's see. See, letter of credit transaction is that you would be interacting with your banker. Your banker is a part of a LC transaction. Your buyer and your buyer's bank. Four people are four entities are part of this transaction. When you approach when you confirm your order to your buyer saying that you are interested to transact under letter of credit, your buyer approaches the bank to open a letter of credit on your name through your bank. Okay, so banks in this transaction, banks will not be held responsible for any quality disputes. It is your responsibility and you need to settle it outside their purview. Okay, so the condition for this letter of credit transaction is banks will honor the payment once they receive the documents as per the letter of credit, and they honor the documents the moment they see those documents. Okay, so it makes the documentation more important, because your banks are involved for releasing the payment, and not only your bank, your buyer's bank is also involved. So when you submit the documents to your banker, he will verify and forward these documents to the buyer bank for getting the payment. When your buyer's bank receives the documents, buyer's bank communicates that to the buyer, saying that the documents have been received by the bank. And if there is any discrepancy, they will advise what are the discrepancies. And if there is no discrepancy, the bank will honor the payment. Okay. Now let us see what all the headings that comes under when we deal with the letter of credit transaction. And after that, we will proceed next. So, any letter of credit transaction, if you see, it comes with all these headings. So sequence of total, these are all SWIFT codes. What is SWIFT? It is a Society for Worldwide Interbank Telecommunication. It's something like telex operations. If you are aware of telex operations, earlier days, now after emails and all, the telex operations have been ceased. So earlier, people used to go to the telegraph office to send the messages. Now, similar to that, even this Swift is also operating in the same manner, wherein it is more between bank to bank. It is not between company to company. It is between bank to bank. So whenever they send this information, automatically the banker will understand what is coming in, what message is coming in, and he will give a printout of that to you to read and execute the order accordingly. Okay, we'll see what are the headings in the letter of credit. 27, sequence of total, one of one. That means when the message comes, it is whatever, even if it runs in 2-3 pages, it is one document only. Form of documentary credit, whether it is irrevocable or transferable. Both options are there. There are certain LCs where you can transfer that to another person to execute. Or else usually they say it is irrevocable letter of credit. Irrevocable means the buyer cannot withdraw unilaterally. Suppose you have once your buyer opened an LC and you plan to execute that, you completed all the preparations and all. And once you approach to the bank and banker confirms that your LC has been withdrawn by the buyer, just imagine what type of situation you would be in, right? So after understanding all that, in 2007, they amended the letter of credit transactions. It is called UCP 600. UCP latest version is UCP 600. Okay. So in that they said there would be only one letter of credit that is irrevocable. There will not be any revocable LCs. Prior to that, there used to be revocable LCs. So now there are no revocable LCs, all irrevocable LCs only. Okay. So every document, every letter of credit or documented credit will have a unique number through which it would be identified. And you need to understand 3 dates. One is date of issue, the other is date of shipment, and the third one is date of expiry. That we will see. Here, 31C, date of issue. Then date and place of expiry. Where it is expiring, place India. Applicant is your buyer. Your buyer is opening the LC, so he would be the applicant. Then beneficiary. Who is the beneficiary? Exporter. You are the beneficiary. Foreign currency amount. How much is the value of the LC? Is it $10,000, 40,000, or 1 lakh? Whatever the value of your shipment, that they will mention here. Foreign currency, USD, and the value. Available with any bank in India or your bank. Exporter's bank name or any bank in India, usually they mention. If anything different it is there, then you need to check what it stands for. Draft set aside from the date. Draft, whether you would be submitting a document called bill of exchange, that you are submitting the letter of credit is at site, or you are giving any usance period, that is any credit is extended to your customer, that you would be mentioning that. Dry LC opening bank, partial shipments permitted or prohibited. You need to check. See, one thing you need to understand is when you are doing any letter of credit transaction, you should not imagine anything outside the LC. So what is mentioned in the letter of credit that needs to be mentioned in your documentation. So you would be preparing.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Your screen is not shared, sir. Other window is shared.
1 second. Oh, that's right.
Even I didn't see I'm on a call actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. See, this is the problem with online. Okay, not an issue. Fine. I think that is the reason many people raise their voices. I mean, hands. Now, is it sharing?
Yes, sir. Shared.
Shared. Okay, fine. See, I was talking about the letter of credit transaction. LC, these are all the headings. Sequence of total is one of one. That means one document would be coming from your buyer's bank to your bank. Okay. Form of documented credit, whether it's irrevocable or transferable. This is what I mentioned. Irrevocable means your buyer cannot withdraw unilaterally without your consent. That means once the LC is opened, either you have to execute that LC or it will expire. Or third option, you can give your consent to a bank saying that the buyer can withdraw the LC. Because whenever a buyer opens an LC, his funds are blocked to the extent of the LC value. Okay, so you need to mention that if you are not executing that order. So that way it is irrevocable. If you are if it is a project LC and you are outsourcing the entire project to another company, let us say a solar project is there, you as a consultant got the LC and you are transferring the LC to another actual company who's executing the order. So that option is there, provided you have a transferable LC. Or else most of the time it is you would be receiving a irrevocable letter of credit. Every documentary credit will come with a documentary credit number, date of issue. Applicable rules, UCP latest version, or that is called UCP 600. As I said, this got amended in the year 2007. 31D, date and place of expiry. Place, India. Applicant is your buyer. Here, his name will come here. Beneficiary, you as an exporter, your details will come. Foreign currency and amount, the value of your currency and how much value you are mentioning, that will come. How much value you have agreed to supply. Available with Exporters Bank or any bank in India. Draft said it is a draft means bill of exchange. When it's another document, you would be submitting to bank along with your other shipment documents. Drawing LC opening bank or confirming bank, partial shipments permitted or partial shipments prohibited. Usually, if you have received one container load, so one container load means around 20 to 25 tons. So your buyer will not agree for you to send the 25 tons in different shipments, right? You need to send it in one shipment. Transshipment means if there is no direct vessel sailing to that port, then transshipment would be permitted. These days, everyone is asking for a direct sailing. So at times they are prohibiting the transshipment. Transshipment means if there is no direct connecting vessel, it will get unloaded. Say from here, it goes to Singapore. Singapore, it will unload there and it will catch another vessel. Or if it is going from Mumbai, it goes to Dubai, it gets unloaded there, and again it gets loaded into another vessel. That's the transshipment. As you understand, it takes time for the vessel to reach the place, unload the container, and again load into another. Probably a week's time will go in that. That is the reason they say transshipments prohibited. So these things you need to understand. Port of loading, whichever port that you mentioned in your pro forma invoice, that they will say, or any port in India, so you can load the container nearer to the in the port that is nearer to you. Port of discharge, any port in buyer's country. Latest date of shipment. Every activity will come with a certain set of jargon. This is one thing. They don't say last date of shipment. In letter of credit transactions, they say latest date of shipment. So 3 dates, we have covered the 3 dates. One is latest date of shipment. the last date of shipment, and then date and place of expiry, and the first one, LC opening date, right? Date of issue. So these 3 dates are important. You need to plan whenever you receive the LLC, you need to check what is the last date of shipment, and again, what is the date of expiry. So your documents need to be submitted before expiry of the LC into the bank. Description of goods under 45A, they will mention the description of goods, quantity, price, and incoterm. Documents, what are all the documents that are required? That would be mentioned under 46A, documents required. Signed commercial invoice, packing list, blah, 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 packing, full set of clean onboard bill of lading, all that. You know what is clean onboard bill of lading and full set of bill of lading? The bill of lading would be issued in 3 sets. 3 originals would be issued, that is called 3 of 3 originals or full set of originals. So that means you would be receiving 3 bill of lading, which you need to submit to the bank. Certificate of origin issued by Chamber of Commerce, packing list in duplicate, certificate of analysis, whatever. These are all conditions that you will come across when you read letter of credit. Okay. So these are all, this is a draft LC, just to show you what all the headings that you will see in the course of exports and imports when you receive a letter of credit. I will try to show you an actual letter of credit that has been executed by a company. Hope the screen is shared. Hello, is the screen shared?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is the actual LC. It has come somewhere in 2016. Okay. This is old LC, actual LC received by a company in Hyderabad. As I said, 27 sequence of total, form of documentary credit, irrevocable, documentary credit number. All these things will be mentioned here. UCP latest version. What is the UCP latest version? It is UCP 600. Whenever they say UCP latest version, you need to check what is the latest version. That is 600. So you would be following that accordingly. Date and place of expiry, 22nd May 2016. Place, India. From where? Who is the applicant? Who is the buyer? It's a company in Bangladesh. Exporter beneficiary, again a company in Hyderabad. How much is the value? It is around $29,767. Okay, available with any bank. Draft set side. When they say draft set side, the exporter is not extending any credit period to the buyer. If they say draft at 90 days from the date of bill of lading, that means he's extending 90 days credit period to the buyer. So buyer makes the payment only after 90 days. Draft set side means the moment they see the draft, the banker sees the draft, he makes the payment. Draft is your bill of exchange document. It's a bill of exchange.
So actually, sorry, we've actually lost track, sir, when there was no screen sharing for quite some time. We couldn't see the line of LC and also we couldn't follow the last 10-15 minutes. So my request, if you could again.
Yeah, one second. I got the point. I got the point, but again, I ran through from the beginning because when the gentleman informed me that the screen is not shared, probably again, if I can, because it needs a little more time. So 1 second. What I mentioned earlier, the draft copy, it is the same what we are looking at now. See, you are seeing the draft now, right? See, in the draft, we discussed.
No, sir. It is not shared only. Your system window is showing.
Yeah. Now?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, what I mentioned earlier is the headings that are mentioned in the letter of credit. These are all the headings. So when we go through these headings, we understand what all the headings defines for, and what as an exporter we need to do for. Documented credit, is it revocable or irrevocable? We discussed what is revocable and irrevocable, right? Documented credit number. The same again, we are looking at the actual letter of credit. Now, if you follow the actual letter of credit, you understand what we have discussed here. This is the actual letter. What I showed you is, if I show you directly this, it will not understand. You will not understand what is this 40A, 27A. These are all the standard Swift codes. Maybe that made you more confused, but you try to understand. If you follow the headings now and the discussion now, you will able to understand what letter of credit is all about. Okay. 27 is the sequence of total. It is one of one. One document is being transmitted by the buyer's bank to the receiver's bank, exporter's bank. Documented credit number, it is unique, and the transaction would be whenever any amendments, any transaction that they would carry under this letter of credit, they would be mentioning this documented credit number. When the LC has been issued, date of issue, it is 28th April 2016. Okay, applicable rules, UCP latest version. Date and place of expiry, 22nd May 2016, India. Usually, some else's they give only name and the date. They will not mention clearly like this. 22nd May 2016. They give the date like this, so you will get confused. Is it 16/5/2022 or 22/5/2016? Just try to understand in which year you are in. Either it would be of earlier years or that particular year. Simple. Applicant, the exporter is a company in Bangladesh, and beneficiary is the exporter in Hyderabad. There's a company called Srinath Spinners from Hyderabad. Okay. The value $29,767 available with any bank in India. So the exporter can submit these documents to his bank. Whoever is the banker, they can submit to him, and he will forward these documents to buyer's bank. Drafts at site. This is a site LC. So the draft means the exporter needs to submit a bill of exchange, which is an instruction for the buyer to release the payment on the scheduled date. You would be preparing that on your letterhead. Dry party, who is the bank opening the LC? This is NRB Commercial Bank, Bangladesh. Partial shipments allowed, transshipments allowed. Port uploading, any port in India. Final destination, Chittagong, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Yarn product, the goods that have been exported in this is yarn 100% export, oriented ready-made garment industry. Yarn, he is exporting it. The list of documents mentioned. This under this heading 46A, they will mention all the documents that are required. Under 45A, they will mention the shipment, the product that is being exported, and the shipment terms. They mentioned CFR, CPT, Chittagong. So, Incoterms have covered. The product details have been covered. List of documents, what all the documents that you need to submit, whether it's bill of lading, ship, packing list, bill, airway bill will not come because it's a sea shipment, it's a bill of lading, certificate of origin, copy of beneficiary. All these documents are mentioned. So Once you prepare these documents based on the letter of credit, you will be submitting that to the bank, and your banker will forward these documents to buyer's bank. And the buyer bank, the moment he receives the documents at his end, he will go through these documents, and if there are any discrepancies, he will raise those discrepancies and he charges for that. And if there is no discrepancy, he releases the payment to you. He will inform the buyer that the documents have been received from you, the shipper, and he will release the payment. Okay. So now, because of the confusion, I will take any questions are there. I will take questions for giving you more clarity on that, and then I will complete my presentation. So no questions?
1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
So are you taking the questions now or still presentation some more pending? You are on mute. You are on mute, sir.
Hello.
Yeah. Let me take questions here, sir, because it gives them the clarity of
Okay,
letter of
okay
credit
then.
transaction.
Because this
Then
will continue and we will be losing the main time.
Yeah,
So,
because the next is and the 10 minutes time is required for me.
okay.
So how you suggest? Shall we take the questions at the end?
Take at the end, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I will finish off my presentation then.
Okay. Sir, please unmute, sir. Unmute yourself.
Documentation is routine for you. If you are plan to outsource this documentation, please keep it in mind. It is routine job for the people who are doing this for you. But you as an exporter needs to understand what is mentioned in the document that you are submitting in the bank, because your payment would be at stake. So you need to understand at least what is to be mentioned, what is your export product, right? At what rate you're selling it, how much is the value that you are sending, because you know how much quantity you are sending. So what is the value, so these are all certain places where you need to understand and where you need to pay a little more attention, so that the same is being meant, whether the same information is mentioned in the packing list and invoice, you would be verifying it. And basing on that, the other people will prepare the documents. And again, whenever any document comes back to you, whether it's a shipping bill or it's a bill of lading, you check with your original invoice and packing list, whether it is matching same or not, so that your documentation will be without any errors. You can create the documentation very smoothly. And once or twice when you run this exercise on your own, then it becomes your SOP. That is, you can create your own standard operating procedures. So whenever you do your first shipment, second shipment, you try to be there at every stage of the shipment. You as an exporter can visit the customs place and verify what is happening there. You can seek the permission as an exporter, and you can you inform your clearing agent, as a first time exporter, I want to see and understand the operations. As an exporter, you have every right to visit the customs office and customs area, and you can see what is happening there. Okay. So when you go see and interact with the people and understand your requirements and follow the documentation, it gives you immense information and knowledge, so that your subsequent shipments would be hassle free. And when you delegate this to your subordinates or your company employees, so you understand, if at all, if he makes a mistake, where he makes a mistake, and you can easily pinpoint what has happened, what went wrong. Okay. Now, the other documents, cargo insurance and payment insurance. You, export import activity comes with a different environment because various countries are involved. So even the insurance companies understand that this is an international trade. So they come with a different insurance clauses, that is called marine cargo clauses. So whenever you export anything, whenever you opt for an insurance company, insurance policy, all the non-life insurance companies extend this insurance. That is marine cargo insurance. You can, whether it's a New India Assurance or Oriental or Tata AIG private or public sector, any company you can bank on, but you need to communicate to them what needs to be covered, what are the clauses that you need to incorporate in your letter of in the insurance policy. And another thing, the another beauty of insurance, cargo insurance, is usually in a domestic situation, whenever you submit a claim, the claim would be settled only to the extent of 80%. Okay. And internationally, it would be around 90% of the value. So for that reason, the companies understand that exporters, if even if they suffer a loss of 10%, that would be huge. They give you an option to insure your product for 110% of the invoice value. So if your invoice value is $10,000, you would be insuring that for $11,000, 110% of the invoice value. If it is 1 lakh, you would be insuring it that for 1 lakh 10,000. So the reason being 90% of it is 99% of your invoice value. So you are taken care of. So you don't have to fear, you don't have to be afraid what happens if something goes wrong to my consignment. You are secure and safe. And payment insurance, ECGC, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation, is there, which helps you in case of your buyer's default. If the buyer did not make the payment due to any reason, the ECGC will help you to uh, uh, claim the benefit. Claim the benefit. It will help. It's an insurance company. It settles the amount. Again, in both the cases, you would be paying the insurance premium. Without paying you insurance premium, no insurance is covered, right? So even in the ECGC also, you need to opt for the policy, insurance policy, which is suitable to you. You can check that in their site. ECGC, it's a government of India organization. There is no private payer in payment insurance. It's only one organization, that is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. So you would be selecting the policy that is suitable to you, and accordingly, if you pay the premium, and if something goes wrong, the insurance company will make the payment. Other documents are certificate of origin and preferential. Certificate of origin, as the name suggests, it certifies the origin of the goods. It says that the goods originated in India, right? But in that, again, there are two different certificate of origins. One is preferential certificate, the other one is non-preferential certificate. As the name suggests, preferential certificate of origin, when you submit this preferential certificate of origin document to your buyer, he gets a preferential treatment in his country. How? India enters with free trade agreement with various trading blocs and different countries bilaterally and even multilateral agreements, through multilateral agreements like ASEAN, SAFTA, APTA. All these are all trading agreements that we enter with various companies. And when you supply any of the products to that particular country under these trade agreements, the companies who are importing into their country, they get duty concessions when they import into their country. Okay. Similarly, if you are, as an importer, if you are importing from any of these countries, you also get duty concessions when you are importing under these free trade agreements. You need to submit a preferential certificate of origin. This is also now everything is online. Even the preferential certificate of origin that are being issued by Export Inspection Agency, it became online. You need to approach this site again through DGFT. A simple online registration is required for you to complete that. Once you register yourself, you can submit your certificate of origin requirement online to the department, and they will process that and issue it on the same day. So that is a preferential certificate of origin. Non-preferential certificate of origin, as the name suggests, it only certifies that the goods originated from the country, that is India. It will not give any preferential treatment. So your buyer will not get any special benefits. That is, if you are exporting to any Middle East countries or to African sector, there are countries where India did not have any free trade agreements with those countries. So we cannot extend preferential treatment and preferential certificate of origin to those countries. Now, once you completed your shipment and you received your payments, then you are entitled for getting your export incentives. Okay, what are the export incentives that we will see? Who issues these export incentives or various schemes that the government is issuing? Government is extending all these schemes through the DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trade. Okay, just don't go by the manufacturer and merchant exporters. Now I will tell you why. See, manufacturer exporter, if you are planning to set up a manufacturing export, uh, um, mean to say, you are planning to set up a unit wherein you are planning to set up a manufacturing unit with an intention to export. Okay, for that you can opt for a EPCG license. That means, and when you set up a unit and import machinery under this license, EPCG means export promotion capital goods. When you import machinery under export promotion capital goods, your machinery will come with duty exemption. So you don't have to pay any duty. Suppose your total duty is around 30% and you are importing a machinery worth 1 crore. So how much you are paying the duty? It is around 30 lakhs. So the cost for you would be 1 crore 30 lakhs, right? 1 crore you are paying to your supplier and 30 lakhs you would be paying to the government as a duty. So, but it is a cost for you, right? Whereas when you opt to get this machinery under EPCG license, that complete 30 lakhs would be waived off and under duty exemption you can import this. Okay, what is the condition? Why the government is giving this benefit? It is giving this benefit with a condition that you need to export 6 times of the duty saved. That is 6 times of the 30 lakhs would be around 1.8 crores. If we say 30 lakhs, it is 1.8 crores, or if we say 10 lakhs, it is 60 lakhs. Getting my point, right? So uh, 1.8 crores you need to export in a period of 6 years. So the condition that you need to understand and you need to remember is 6 times in 6 years. So you would be given sufficient time to complete your exports. So if you complete your exports within that period, your duty is exempted. So when you government understands that when you set up a machinery, you need to do the trial runs, initial trial runs, and then you will supply it to the domestic market to see how the quality would be. So once you feel that the product is export, you can meet the export standards and you can supply to the international market comfortably. So you would be exporting it, right? So under this EPCG license, you can supply to the domestic market also, and you can also export a part of your production in the international market, right? So that is what is EPCG scheme is all about. Then advance authorization. EPCG is for the capital goods that you are importing, and advance authorization is for the raw material that you are planning to bring in. If you are importing any raw material for making your finished product, so you need to get advance authorization. It's a again option. If you say, sir, is it compulsory for me to obtain material under advance license? It's an option. It's a scheme available through the DGFT. Okay. It's you would be importing your inputs, raw materials without payment of duty. But under this, you need to export. You cannot sell this material, the inputs that you have imported under duty exemption scheme, you cannot supply in the local market. It has to be exported. There would be standard input output norms. That means how much wastage you would be incurring for making your product, that would be factored into the material that you would be procuring in. So after accounting for the wastages and all, you would be supplying that product only for the exports, not for the domestic market. If you are supplying it to the domestic market, you need to pay duty with interest. Okay. The other scheme that is available is free sale certificate. Free sale certificate is these days everyone is cautious about the immunity development and herbal extracts, herbal supplements, health supplements, and all. See, there are certain health supplements which do not fall under drugs and pharmaceuticals. All the herbal extracts and herbal supplements, they don't fall under drugs and pharmaceutical heading. So for those products, they need to get this free sale certificate from the DGFT office to supply it in the international market. If you are into any of these product category and if you approach your buyers, buyer will ask for this free sale certificate. You do you have a permission? Do you have this certificate with you so that you can supply it and I can import it at my end without any difficulty? Because drugs and pharmaceuticals, they govern by certain regulations and they need to get those permissions, whereas this health supplements, they are freely exportable without any restrictions because they are herbal extracts. All this EPCG advanced license and free sale certificate, these are all for manufacturer exporters. What if you are a merchant exporter? And that is, if you are a trader, can I apply for these schemes? Provided if you are having any tie-up with any manufacturer as a supporting manufacturer, you can avail these schemes. Okay. Apart from this, for merchant exporter or the manufacturer exporter, you would be getting a license called RODTEP. That this is a new scheme which Government of India has declared through DGFT again. Now the customs would be implementing this. It is something like a ledger account. If you are exported 1 crore worth of value and there is a 5% of exemption that the government gives you, that 5% they will credit to your account. They will open a ledger on your name, on your IEC, based on your IEC, they will open a ledger and they will credit that 5 lakhs into your account. That 5 lakhs either you can use for your imports or you can supply to another exporter or another importer who needs that credit at a discount. So you would be realizing that cash immediately and the other person would be getting a discount of the duties. So still this is in initial stages. Government of India still did not specify the percentage, how much percentage of credit they would be getting for the exports. Prior to that, there was a scheme called MEAS, that is Merchandise Export Incentive Scheme, that got ended on 31st December 2020. From 1st of January, this RODTEP scheme has come. Any one of you who are already into exports and who did that under that scheme, you are eligible to claim benefit under MEAS if your shipment got completed before 31st December 2020. With this, my presentation is over. We can take questions now.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We'll go for the question and answer session.
Yeah.
Pranay Prakash.
So very good evening.
Yeah.
My question to you is with regards to the LC, sir. I have another LC document with me under Swift Code 77E. For example, I'm just giving an example.
Mm-hmm.
There's a proprietary message mentioning MT990 and in other cases it's MT199.
Okay.
What does these mean? What do these mean? Did we find it in any code? We don't find it online. How do we learn these things? Is it mentioned in the U600? Because I didn't understand that bit too.
That you can check with your banker.
Okay.
Banker, they would be there. They will have all the Swift codes, complete list of codes, and they will help you out what that means and what it says.
MT998. That's what it says.
You better check because that MT998 stands for different situation. You need to check with your banker.
Okay. Because is it also mentioned in the UCP 600? We didn't understand that.
No. See, UCP 600 is different and Swift codes are different. UCP 600, if you open UCP 600, you will see around 39 articles in that. Okay, and in that you will not see any of these codes mentioned. Swift codes are totally different. You need to check with the banker because these are bank-to-bank transactions. They will be in a better position to tell you.
All right, sir. And in the beginning of your presentation, you mentioned the cost of documentation averaging $50 for exports, 270 odd for imports.
Yes.
And the number of days of 270. Is it for India, any port, any port? Or?
No, it's a Mumbai. From Mumbai, it's not only $50. $50 is only for documentation. And the time, if I check with the presentation, it's around 230 plus 50, $280, I think. Right from the moment the container leaves from your place and you complete your transaction, customs clearance and everything, and placing the container on board the vessel. Entire operations carries.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Kinjal?
Hello?
No.
Yeah.
Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, tell me, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Sir, I have two questions. Question number one is regarding the SWIFT. Under which section in the LC the SWIFT number is mentioned? Is there any, like you said, 42 point C is like, draft at site or something. So is there any particular point where the SWIFT number is mentioned?
Can you, still I did not get you. Particular point in the sense?
Like the SWIFT number, which is mentioned in the LC, under which point number it is mentioned. So if we have to check as a layperson, where we should check in the LC document, where it is.
See, I think when I shared the actual LC that has been received, there with the heading, they also mentioned the number.
So it is on the top. It is on the top where the LC number is mentioned.
You're talking about LC number or LC, the Swift code, Swift codes that you are
Swift
talking
code
about?
number, Swift code number.
Just I will share the screen again. The screen is sharing, right?
Yes, we can see now.
Yeah. See, these are the Swift codes, 48, 20,
that is
31C.
40, sorry, F40A.
Yeah, 40A.
40. So this number is always constant or it
Yeah,
keeps
this is always constant, ma'am. Yeah, I got your point. This is always constant. So in the initial, when I showed only the draft, the purpose of showing that is, if you understand that F27 stands for what, F40 stands for what,
yes,
more or less it remains same, not more or less, it remains same.
So we have to check under F40A.
They won't say F, only under this LC they mention F. Usually they say 27, 40 and 20.
Okay. Sir, my second question is that is in link to our last session, yesterday's session. The question is like if we have a LC for let's say 30 days or 90 days, and we were yesterday we understood that we can discount our LC if we need some fund. We can negotiate our documents with the bank. So let's say we have a LC 90 days terms, and on 45th day, that is 45 day, we go and discount it with another bank. But on 90 after the payment, that is LC 90 days, the payment is yet not received. So are we still responsible for it, or our responsibility is over?
Yeah, ma'am, because your information only 50%, because if it is LC 90 days, whether it's 90 days or LC at site, usually they will not give you time for 45 days to submit the documents. The once the shipment is over, you need to submit the documents within 21 days. Usually that would be the criteria. Okay,
Yes.
that is one thing. And the other thing is 90 days. So when you submit the documents under 90 days LC, you are extending the credit of 90 days to your buyer, and you are expected to receive payment only after 90 days.
Yes.
Okay. So in this situation, when you submit after 45 days, and when you approach the bank and discounted that, did the bank discounted the document, or did they say that they send the documents on a collection basis?
So this is just a hypothetical question. I have not
Understood. Because
experienced it.
because when you said 45 days, that's why I'm saying. See, whenever here, probably many of you might be regularly dealing with the bank. You understand when you approach banker to open an LC, open an account, they will open an account. The first account that they would be opening with you is current account,
Yes.
right? When they open the
Yes.
current account, they will not give you any facilities.
Yes.
They will not extend any facilities, and they will not negotiate LC. Even if you submit, if you inform them that you have a LC, they say we will send this document on the collection basis, and the moment we receive the payment, we will give it to you.
Yes.
When you have limits with the bank, then only you can negotiate. So you need to check with your banker how to get the limits. Usually
What do you mean by the limits? Like,
they
how?
will
What
give
does
you
that mean?
they give you the loans, ma'am. Either they give you the loan, or basing on your performance, they will extend a cash credit limit. It would be for the it would be something like a working capital limit, or the letter of credit limit, or bank guarantee. See, in your day-to-day transactions, there are situations where you need a packing material, packing credit. You need to procure the machinery, whatever the product you need to procure. So you need to make the payment. For that working capital, they will allot certain portion. They will allot. They will mark as a letter of credit for letter of credit transaction. Certain portion they mark as a bank guarantee limit. So these limits you need to get it from the bank. Then only they will negotiate. You check with your banker. If I want to negotiate LC, what is required? Then they will able to guide you.
Sir, I don't think so. In the beginning, they extend such kind of
Definitely,
limits.
ma'am. They will. They will. If whichever bank you speak to, one or two banks, they will. You tell them that you are an exporter, and you want this information. Definitely, they will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Nagaraj.
Hello, sir. Very good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, as you said, if we import any goods from any other country, we need to file a bill of entry, and we have to submit a invoice.
Bill of not bill of entry, sir. Bill of lading, invoice, packing list, and the certificate of origin you would be submitting.
Okay, invoice. As you said, the market value they will calculate. If we submit the invoice value under or over, so how can we find what is the exact import minimum price for any particular goods?
Sir, it is not that. See, I'll tell you what actually happened.
Yeah.
Sometime back, once this IT sector got opened up, a lot of furniture imports started taking place.
Yeah.
And they were importing left and right from China, Malaysia, and all.
Yes,
and
sir.
What furniture used to cost about $50, or at least 100, let us say $50, they were pricing
Yeah.
at $5. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. So this type of there are certain people who misguide, especially they understand that if you are a budding entrepreneur, a budding exporter, they will try to misguide you, saying that "Saab, bahut kiye hum, we can do a lot of things like that," and this, and they will try to misguide you. That is the reason always I share. So whenever these type of situations arises, customers will not accept. Plus or minus 5%, 10%, they don't mind. They clear the consignments.
Okay, but there is the particular minimum import price for all goods.
It will not be like that. Only for certain products, they will mention the minimum import price. If you are planning to import any areca nut, areca leaves, for that, certain minimum import price would be there. Because
we'll keep on moving to the next question, not to the one-to-one interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Fine.
One.
Prakash.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I am interested in import. And regarding LC, there is a situation where I want to import a electronic device, but we have predefined in Proforma the quality what I want and all the things. But I found that when the import has been done, and I found that the material is not as per the standards, then how can I cope up these all things?
You better plan for the initial inspection before the shipment. SGS inspections or whichever product that you are planning, there are agencies who do the testing and inspection of that product, and you can definitely get. And as you said, electronic products, it comes with various guidelines and all. You have to check with the Bureau of Indian Standard certifications also.
Okay.
Abdul.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Sandeep.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the session. I have a question. When I'm sending an export shipment, right? So I'll be sending the invoice and packing list, right? And I can generate the certificate of origin online.
Yes.
All right. So who will generate the quality inspection certificate and the one more certificate, shipping bill? Who will generate that? The CHA?
Shipping bill is the customs document which your CHA will arrange. Okay. As far as the quality certificate is concerned, it is between you and your buyer. If your buyer agrees for your internal certificate and certificate submitted by you on your letterhead, that is sufficient. Or if your buyer asks for a certificate by any of the third party agency, then accordingly you need to arrange for the quality certificate.
So like the certificate from, I am in agro, so a certificate from APEDA or Spice Board is not mandatory every time. It is mandatory only if buyer asks, right?
Okay.
I mean, that is the question.
Yeah. Say if the buyer asks, you approach APEDA. If buyer did not ask, you just check whether he needs any certificate, or else your quality certificate, your own certificate is sufficient. You can supply that.
Okay, and this $300 we can take as a rule for 25 containers.
It is not that. It is only an estimation of the government of India. It is not even government of India. It's an international body who did that study between country to country. It is just an information which I shared. You don't go by that. Okay.
No, so approximately like whether I import or export, the charges at the port will be approximately $300 per 20-feet container.
Yeah, apart from the duties and taxes.
Yeah, yes. Thank you,
Santosh Kumar.
Yeah, hi. So this is with respect to the insurance aspect. I'm sure you are covering documentation, but this is one doubt which I had. You said that on the insurance aspect, usually the companies give 110% so that the 10% is covered for the exporter's loss. Now, I'd want to ask, what are the damages which we are calculating, sir? Is it the damage only based on the physical damage which happens to the product? Or are there any damages or a financial loss which the exporter is exposed to? Is that also covered part of the insurance usually?
This is only marine cargo insurance, stands for only cargo loss, sir.
Only cargo loss.
Only cargo loss. And it comes with certain clauses. They are called Institute of Cargo Clauses, A, B, C, and SRCC. All this, you need to understand what all the clauses. If you Google through, you would be able to understand. And accordingly, the insurance company will extend the insurance cover only for the cargo loss, cargo damage in unexpected situations. Okay, usually the Claim would be payable at the destination. That is, your buyer would be submitting the claim, not you.
Okay.
Okay.
So my question is like you told like there are three documents which are required to export. One is that the commercial invoice and the packing list. Sorry, the formal invoice is like before the order what we receive.
Right, right.
So the packing list is does only consist of the what do you call the quantities?
Yes.
Only quantities.
Only quantity. It will not contain your value.
Okay.
Packing list, keeping all other information, the extra information that it carries is your packing details and how much quantity that you are exporting.
Okay. And one more other thing is like, do we share our bank details and like RTGS details and all to the buyers like in the performa invoice or how? How
Yeah,
the payment details?
usually you will share that information in the pro forma invoice.
Okay.
Okay, based on that only your buyer would be opening the LC or he would be making the payment to you.
Okay. And the other question is like, do we charge duty to buyers sir, or we will bear it? The duty?
Yeah, that's a question. Say, Indian government jurisdiction will not extend beyond its boundaries, so you will not charge any duty, any GST to your customer. All your exports are duty exempted. No GST would be applicable on your exports. And there are various ways where you can get the duty without duty. You can procure the material or you can export and take refund of GST. Both options are available.
Including the ECGC insurance that the exporter has to bear.
Yeah, obviously you have to bear for the premium that you have to pay. So you would be factoring all that in your pricing.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Very much.
Vipul Thakur.
Good evening, sir. My question is, what is the MI scheme of exporter and what benefit for exporter?
MIS?
एक्सपोर्ट जो करते हैं उसके बाद जो सर
हाँ, अभी रिसेंट का एक्सपोर्ट बात कर रहे हैं या ऑलरेडी कंप्लीट हो चुके सो एक्सपोर्ट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं?
हो चुका है उसका
वो आपका शिपिंग बिल चेक करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर आपके शिपिंग बिल में आप अगर वो शिपमेंट 31 दिसंबर से पहले हुआ होता, अगर हुआ है तो आपको MEIS मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट इंसेंटिव स्कीम बोल के एक स्कीम है, वो स्कीम में आपको बेनिफिट मिलेगा।
% उसमें आता है
वो प्रोडक्ट के मुताबिक डिपेंड करेगा, वो 2% से लेकर 5% तक रहेगा।
और अभी उसमें डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का लेटेस्ट क्या रहता है, क्या क्या डॉक्यूमेंट्स देना पड़ता है?
हाँ, वो अभी टाइम कम है बताने के लिए, लेकिन आपको बैंक रियलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए। वो बैंक रियलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट के साथ ऑनलाइन आपको सबमिट करना रहता है एप्लीकेशन।
सर एक और पूछना था कि एक्सपोर्ट का जो डॉक्यूमेंट बनाते हैं तो कभी कभी बहुत दिक्कत आता है, कोई भूल रह जाती है, तो कोई ऐसा सिस्टम हो या कोई सॉफ्टवेयर हो जो जिससे हम ये कर सके, ऐसा कुछ?
नहीं, सॉफ्टवेयर तो कुछ नहीं है मार्केट में, लेकिन आपको यू हैव पीपल हु कैन एक्सेस एंड गेट द इंफॉर्मेशन, क्लैरिटी लेके आप कर सकते हैं।
ओके, नेक्स्ट।
Hi sir. Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Balwant Rai Parik this side, sir. I am from Nepal border.
Okay.
And I have two, three practical questions, sir.
Yeah.
Which are already faced by one or two of my friends. First question is, what is the legal action if I export goods from India to Nepal around 5 crore rupees and I have received only 4 crore in my account?
Okay.
Second question,
Your next
sir.
question?
Sir, second question. If I sold goods to Nepal, as you know about the sugar cane jaggery, wood, and we purchase it from the local farmers.
Okay.
Because they set up their kolu and they just produce it and we buy it from there. Sir, they are not able to produce any bills, and we are sending it to Nepal.
Okay.
So sometimes, sir, what happened? It got very hectic when it comes to producing the bills.
Okay.
And sir, sometimes it may also happen, sir. Can it be possible that in while exporting to Nepal, there are few borders which are nearby from my place, like Birganj border, Palia border, and Kanchanpur border. Sir, can the import duties be different from like in all three borders? Can it be different for same item?
No, it will not be.
It will not.
It will not. Okay. And the first question is the payment, the 5 crores and 4 crores. You need, why the short payment you have received?
Sir, because it is a Nepal border, it is a open border, and sometimes what happen, the cash payment also
You need
can be
to
received.
account, yeah, you need to account that cash payment. See, in the international transactions, you are not supposed to take any cash. You need to
And sir,
account
if
that
I am
cash
not,
payment.
if I am not able to produce any, like obvious answer for this, then what action could be taken?
Government will ask you why that 1 crore short payment you have received, and since how long you are in this export import activity. They will check, and basing on your export performance and your default of payment, they will take a call, and if they levy any charges or if they ask why the payment has not been received, you need to explain that.
Okay, next question.
Mathivanan.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is regarding the free sales certificate for the health supplements.
Right.
So, as a Siddha doctor, I'm very particularly interested in this because we are producing ourselves like neuromuscular supplements based on velvet beans, as you know, mucinopurines.
Okay.
So, would I be able to export it in the banner of health supplements?
That as a doctor, you need to confirm it, sir. Because whether the product is falling under drugs and pharmaceuticals.
No, it is an extract, sir.
It's an extract, then you can supply. You need to make an application to the DGFT and you can export that under free sales certificate.
Okay. Is there any list provided by DGFT which are coming under supplements?
No, it is you who has to certify, because you are the expert. You are the subject expert, so you would be submitting the information and making complete preparatory details. You would be submitting to the department, and based on that, they will give you the certificate.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Ranjay Abraham.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for your good talk. So my question is in the area of this special economic zone products. So, is there any special documentation involved, or are there any special licenses or any facilitation involved in exporting from the product
from domestic market? You are supplying it to
export outside.
SEZ, right? Yeah. Okay. So you you have your IEC code?
No, I'm just trying to find out whether it was access to that. So, is there any facilitation you get through a SEZ zone product?
See, as a domestic manufacturer or domestic supplier, you can supply to SEZ zone. There is no problem in that, and all the supplies to SEZ are GST exempted. Even if your products are suffer GST, you can claim that as a refund from the department.
If you are exporting also from the product from that outside, then also you have any special?
That will not come under your purview, because that's a SEZ purview. Whoever is procuring it from you, they would be exporting it.
Achha, not you cannot book it.
Yeah, you will not get any bid. But when you supply to SEZ unit, you will get the GST exemption.
Next and last.
Jagadishan.
Sir, as a merchant trader, we have to pay tax, GST tax to the supplier when we are purchasing goods. Whether it is refundable and what is the procedure?
Yes, sir. As I said, it is refundable. If you procure on payment of duty, 90% will come within 1 week time. The remaining 10% will come to you in about 3 months time. Okay, and you also have another procedure called letter of undertaking. Once you have your GST registration in place, you can get your letter of undertaking filed online to the department. And the same letter of undertaking, you can give it to your supplier and he would be supplying it to you under letter of undertaking without charging you any GST.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your session. And if any questions, friends, any questions, we'll discuss at the end of the next session. Okay.
Right, sir.
So thank you
right, sir.
for the
thank you, sir.
double session time.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Friends, we'll catch up by 9:30. We have a very interesting session about the risk management. So that is very, very important, because whatever you are doing business, how to mitigate your risk, what kind of risks you involve. So that is going to be the eye-opener session for the beginners, even the people who are doing it. If you have many questions, you stay back till even after 11:30 also I am there, Kiran. Don't worry. I can clarify all the doubts. Okay. So see you at 9:30.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right.